from the cradle to the cubicle. They sold you a version of goodness that looks exactly like a cage. They told you that empathy is always a virtue, that loyalty to blood is sacred, and that love requires you to lose yourself. Look around. The kind men are drowning in resentment. The loyal sons are being bled dry by parasitic families, and the romantic souls are being traded like cheap commodities by those who mastered the game while you were still playing by the rules. Today, we kill the boy who needs to be liked. We are going to explore the darkest realization of the sovereign mind, that your capacity for coldness is the only thing that guarantees your freedom. We are merging the strategic cruelty of Baltasar Gracián with the lethal honesty of Friedrich Nietzsche. We are going to deconstruct the three chains holding you back. Your need for a woman, your obligation to ungrateful blood, and your fear of being the villain in someone else's story. Welcome to the ice. Welcome to Soma. Let's start with the most painful chain. Family. Society repeats the mantra, blood is thicker than water. But what they don't tell you is that this phrase has been amputated. The full phrase from the ancient texts is, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. The bonds you choose are stronger than the bonds you're given. They inverted it to control you. Look closer. How many potential giants are held back by a mother who uses guilt as a remote control? By a father who projects his own failures onto his son's ambitions? By siblings who only remember you when their own ship is sinking? This isn't just philosophy, it's biology. In the animal kingdom, the moment a young predator is strong enough, it's driven out, exiled, not out of cruelty, but necessity. The herd cannot carry the weak, and the strong cannot be tethered by sentiment. Humanity has forgotten this. We've created a cult of familial obligation that often rewards weakness and punishes ambition. Baltasar Gracián, the 17th century Jesuit strategist who advised kings, saw this clearly. He lived in a world where family could be your greatest asset or your most lethal poison. In his Art of Worldly Wisdom, he wrote, "Do not belong so completely to anyone that you cease to belong to yourself." He understood that the first loyalty of a sovereign man is not to his last name, but to his destiny. Now let's dissect the psychological mechanism at play. Guilt programming. From childhood, you're taught that disobedience to family is betrayal, that prioritizing yourself is selfish. This creates a neural pathway where your own ambition triggers anxiety, a biological alarm system installed by those who benefit from your compliance. The cold mind performs a ruthless calculus. Emotional ROI. Return on investment. Ask yourself, does this relationship energize my purpose or drain it? Do they celebrate my victories or diminish them? Do they see me as a person or as a character in their own story? I'll give you a historical parallel. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher, emperor. He carried the weight of Rome while his own son, Commodus, was weak, vain, and unfit to rule. Aurelius wrote in his private meditations about the burden of loving someone who embodies everything you oppose. He knew passing the empire to Commodus would unravel his life's work, yet the chain of blood held him, and history shows the result. Decadence, collapse, and the beginning of Rome's end. Sometimes, the most loyal thing you can do for your legacy is to say no to the ones who share your DNA, Your family is not your destiny. It's your initial conditions. In thermodynamics, there's a concept called local minima, a low-energy state where a system gets stuck, even though a much better state exists nearby. Family dysfunction is a psychological local minima. It's comfortable because it's familiar, even if it's destructive. Breaking free requires an energy spike, what we call the sovereign's rage. Not rage against them, but rage against the version of yourself that accepted those chains. Remember, blood makes you related. Loyalty and mutual excellence make you family. If they offer only the former, they are just historical acquaintances with your last name. Your duty is not to the past, but to the future you will build. Sometimes, the most sacred act is to walk away from the dinner table and into your legend. Now, the most intoxicating chain, the woman. Not women as individuals, but the woman as a psychological construct, the archetype of validation, companionship, and desire that's been fused to your sense of self-worth. The modern world has weaponized your biology. It has programmed you to believe your value is certified by your ability to attract, please, and keep a partner. They have turned your deepest drive into your most vulnerable leash. From childhood fairy tales to billion-dollar pornography, the narrative is the same. Your completion lies outside yourself. Nietzsche saw through this. He wrote, "In every real man, a child is hidden that wants to play, and the entire game of modern romance is designed to make that child needy, insecure, and easily manipulated." Let's examine the neuroscience. When you feel intense attraction or attachment, your brain floods with dopamine and oxytocin, the same chemicals behind addiction. Literally, you become addicted to the person. Withdrawal symptoms include anxiety, obsession, panic. The cold mind isn't the absence of these chemicals. It's the conscious regulation of them. It's the prefrontal cortex, the seat of reason, imposing order on the limbic system's chaos. This brings us to Schopenhauer's porcupine dilemma. He described humans as porcupines in winter. We need closeness for warmth, but our quills prick each other when we get too close. The solution? Maintain optimal distance. Most men never learn this distance. They either freeze in isolation or bleed from constant pricking. The cold mind masters distance. It appreciates beauty without needing it. It enjoys connection without being defined by it. You must train yourself to where her departure registers not as an earthquake, but as a change in weather. Noted, adapted to, and moved past. Consider the ancient Stoics. Seneca wrote to his friend Lucilius, "The wise man loves his friends dearly, but always with the thought that he may one day lose them." This isn't pessimism, it's inoculation. By accepting potential loss now, you neutralize its power to destroy you later. Look at Ernest Hemingway. A literary giant, yes. But study his relationships, how he moved from wife to wife, each union marked by dependency, jealousy, and creative disruption. His need for feminine validation became a leak in his creative vessel. Contrast this with Isaac Newton, who never married, whose emotional detachment allowed him to concentrate cosmic truths into mathematical rules. I'm not saying avoid love. I'm saying understand its true cost. I'll give you a practical exercise. The nexting drill. For 1 week, every time you find yourself thinking about a woman, whether your partner or someone you desire, immediately ask, what's the next action I need to take to advance my mission? Redirect that neural energy from fantasy to construction. You're training your brain to value creation over consumption. When you do this, something profound happens. You stop seeking a woman to fill a void. You start attracting women curious about the universe you're building. Because a man who isn't needy is the rarest and most powerful thing in the modern world. Detachment is the ultimate position of strength. It means you're together not from fear of loneliness, but from conscious choice. And choice is the language of power. Finally, the chain of reputation. Your ambition choked by fear of being seen as cold. You want to win, but you also want applause from those you leave behind. This is the herd's paradox. It praises the idea of success, but hates the successful individual. Gracián was brutal. Without a bit of the serpent's guile, the dove's innocence is just stupidity. In power arenas, a nice reputation isn't virtue, it's strategic weakness, an invitation for predators. This fear stems from the spotlight fallacy, the belief that others are watching and judging you as closely as you watch yourself. In reality, they're too preoccupied with their own dramas. Their criticism is often projection of their own limitations. To make nothing affect you, you must accept, even embrace, being the villain in weak people's stories. Let them call you arrogant. Let them whisper, ruthless. Their labels are just the sound of their limitations crashing against your progress. The cold mind doesn't seek conflict. It renders it irrelevant. It doesn't get angry. It gets results. When you stop craving herd approval, you become the herder. Understand this. There's a chasm between strategic coldness and pathological cruelty. The psychopath inflicts pain for pleasure. The sovereign man uses calculated detachment for one purpose: to protect his mission, his peace, and his creative fire from emotional vampires. Your coldness isn't a weapon to attack others, but armor to protect what's sacred within you. Look at history's effective leaders. George Washington held a crumbling army together through a starvation winter, not by being everyone's friend, but by being an unbreakable standard. Steve Jobs demanded perfection and expelled mediocrity, creating revolutions while being called a tyrant. They understood. Leadership isn't a popularity contest. It's stewardship of a vision bigger than any individual's comfort. A Harvard study on negotiation found that participants perceived as friendly achieved worse outcomes than those perceived as firm but fair. The researchers coined it the likability penalty. When you're too concerned with being liked, you signal that social harmony matters more than results. And predators sense this. I'll give you a tool: the zero explanation policy. For 1 month, stop explaining your decisions to those unaffected by them. Stop justifying your workouts, diet, work hours, or ambitions. Every explanation is a validation request. Every justification is a power leak. State your decision, and let the following silence be the period ending the sentence. You'll feel their judgment dissolve, because you've stopped feeding it with attention. Philosophy without practice is noise. So how do you forge this cold mind? With the sovereignty drill, every morning before touching your phone, give yourself 10 minutes of intentional silence. In that silence, visualize losing what you fear losing most. See the face, feel the void. Let the anxiety rise. Then breathe into it. Deep, slow breaths. Realize you're still here. Your heart still beats. Your mind still works. Your hands can still build. You're rehearsing your invincibility. You're teaching your nervous system a fundamental truth. You're the only constant in your life. Everything else is scenery. This daily mental vaccination against loss makes you fearless in real-world storms. This practice increases heart rate variability, HRV, a key resilience marker. You're literally strengthening your body's stress-handling capacity. You're becoming anti-fragile. The cold mind isn't the absence of feeling. It is the supreme ordering of feeling. It is the conscious decision to place purpose above passions, mission above moods, legacy above likability. Nietzsche gave us liberation's seal. What is the seal of liberation? To no longer be ashamed of oneself. Stop apologizing for your strength. Stop hiding your focus. Your emotional detachment isn't a flaw. It's the filter separating sacred from toxic. If you've listened this far, you're no longer part of the crowd. You're part of the few who understand that true power begins where the need for approval ends. Subscribe only if you're ready to architect your own inner fortress. Tell me in the comments, which chain will you break first? The guilt of blood, the hunger for validation, or the fear of your own shadow? The ice isn't punishment. It is the purest medium for clarity. I will meet you there. This is Soma.